Hello and welcome today to the Demo Jam covering sales apps on the AppExchange. My name is Jeff Grosse and I'm a Salesforce MVP. I am joined by my ever popular Salesforce MVP co-host Joshua Hoskins. Hey, how you doing, Joshua?
Hey Jeff, how are you? Glad to be here. I'm ready to get started. Are you?
I am. We got some great folks with us today, but you know what? We cannot forget about the ever popular Amanda Nelson. She is our compadre through the whole Demo Jam experience. She's from the AppExchange. Say hey, Amanda.
Hello, everybody. Yes, I'm so excited for another epic demo jam. It's going to be a great one.
It is fun. So we got sales apps today, and you guys can all follow along live on Twitter using the hashtag AppDemoJam. We're going to be following to see what you guys are saying out there. So we appreciate you guys following along, asking questions of our panelists today. We want to take your live questions from the internet and ask as we do the demos. So today's participants are going to include TimeTrade, Ascendix, Sales Optmizer, Webkul, and Piesync. Now, you may not have heard of some of these folks before. You're going to find out exactly what they do today. But before we can let them do that, we got to go through a couple of rules. So Joshua, what have we got for rules today?
Sure. So the rules haven't been changed. We've been doing this for quite a long time. So let's just get through them quickly. 3 minutes, no slides, and there's one winner. And that one winner will be chosen by you. So you're going to want to stick around to the very end, and we'll provide a way for you to vote for the person who you feel like gave the best demo jam today. That's about it, Jeff.
All right, well, it's a throwdown between all these folks. So to kick things off today, I'm going to start off with Ascendix. Ascendix Search app extends the Salesforce native search capabilities and makes it really easy to build targeted prospect lists, email lists, analyze all your data using charts and maps, which I'm looking forward to see. And then from that, you can go ahead and work with all of that, help you do more, increase your productivity. And you know what? This is even easy to use. So no matter whether you're a novice or an expert, you can perform complex searching, build related lists, and all kinds of other stuff. So without further ado, I got to let Wes Snow, CEO of Ascendix, show us what it's like. So Wes, are you ready to go?
I'm ready to roll. Can you hear me okay?
All right. Your 3 minutes begins now, sir.
Great. As an outside sales rep, time is money, and I want to make some prospecting calls to a targeted list of contacts in as streamlined a fashion as possible. By leveraging the Ascendix search facility, I'm able to mine list of 19. I know it's going to be valuable to have the industry that each of these contacts relate to in this list. And so using the select columns facility, I go in and grab the attribute for the account, that being industry, and bring it over to my list. At that point, promote it into an area where I can see it visibly. And now I'm ready to make my phone calls. With the bulk action facility, I'm able to quickly go in there and assign a phone call to each of these individuals. And so I'll just put in phone call and schedule accordingly. And now I've got my list, and I'm going to select the first one, Alex Cross. Highlighting the first record, I've got the details, I've got the activity timeline of which one is the phone call, any notes that are associated with it, and now I have the ability to quickly go in there and add new events, take notes and such, and move through this list without having to toggle back and forth between a list view and a detail view. Having remembered a quick announcement from management about a new product offering that's focused specifically for finance industry, I want to go in there and redo my search, and now using charts and graphs, I can quickly filter into just those contacts that are in the finance industry, as we see here. By selecting the check box at the top, I'm able to quickly go in and send an email to each of those individuals, allowing me to leverage my pre-configured template. And with a quick insert, I'm able to send that off to that particular audience. Once that's done, I have a baseline which I've established, and I want to keep that for future reference. And so I create a snapshot of those records in this ad hoc list facility so that as data changes, this baseline stays the same. Thank you.
You were really close, Wes. Man, I gotta ask. Well, okay, I'm gonna ask a quick question. Did you actually just drag on that map in order to create that square when you filtered it down to the Dallas area?
Yes. Yes.
That was wild. I've never seen anybody do that before, so that's actually really cool. So, you know, just my take on what I'm seeing here is, obviously, the more data we store in Salesforce, it's great to have it, but man, it's hard to find exactly what you're looking for, and to be able to take all of that search criteria that you had, be able to quickly visualize it, and then work it right down to your call list. And like you showed, half your screen is on the list view, the other half you're going to go ahead and create your activities, do all those calls, everything like that. That is frankly really slick, and I like what I'm seeing in there. And so I can only imagine that, if I was giving you a half hour sometime, if we do the extended demo jam someday, maybe we'll have to do that. But man, that was actually really cool. So I like what you did there. Good job with your demo. I'm going to turn it over to Amanda quick and see what have we got for an audience question for Wes today.
Yeah, great demo. The question is around sales. So what's a typical use case for how you see a salesperson using it versus just using regular Salesforce search?
Yeah. So what we've found is that sales reps are heavily dependent on administrators to create list views and/or reports to put prospect lists together. And as these dynamics change for a salesperson, so too do the need to actually go in there and modify those prospecting lists. And so with this query by example concept, the end user, the sales rep, is fully equipped to go in there and start doing what-if analysis on various dimensions of the data, and then quickly, as you saw earlier, get that result set and start getting down to business, and that's making the phone calls, smiling and dialing. So that'd be my quick response to that question.
Awesome. Well, good job, Wes. Thanks for doing that demo for us. We are going to move on to our second panelist today. So Joshua, you got the honor of introducing our second panelist.
Thanks a lot, Jeff. It certainly is an honor to introduce Piesync. Piesync integrates Salesforce with over 100 other cloud apps for an automatic two-way sync of leads and contacts. Think Salesforce to iCloud, Salesforce to RingCentral, Salesforce to ActiveCampaign. If you're using other cloud apps alongside Salesforce, Piesync helps you keep your leads and contacts in sync across your software stack. That's important because, well, it's your data of your prospects and your customers. Why wouldn't you want to do that? Whenever you add or update a contact in Salesforce, it automatically syncs with the other app and vice versa. But Piesync is more than a simple data loader or a data zipper. Here to tell you all about Piesync is Franz. Franz, are you out there?
I am here. Hey, Joshua.
Awesome. So you've got 3 minutes to show us just what Piesync can offer this audience on the call. Your time starts now.
All right. Well, Piesync is no-code integration app with lots of pre-built connectors to sync leads as well as contacts. Super easy to set up. I'll show you in 3 minutes here. Now, different departments that you work will use different tools like an accounting app, Xero, or an email marketing app like ActiveCampaign. And salespeople will use different devices. I like to use iCloud, others use an Android with Google Contacts. Piesync releases a new connector every Wednesday based on customer and partner requests to sync two-way with Salesforce. Here, I'm synchronizing Salesforce with iCloud, but in a clever way, using Piesync's rule engine. In the first rule, I want my contacts that are sitting on my phone to sync two-way with Salesforce, but only if they exist in Salesforce to begin with. I don't want my mother-in-law that is in my phone to be sent into Salesforce. But the second rule starts at Salesforce and follows a totally different logic. It looks only at contacts owned by me, or I could set up a different filter like so, and that will sync to my phone. And thanks to this sync, my phone will now properly caller ID when I get calls or texts. And when I need to call somebody and I don't use the Salesforce mobile app directly, for instance, I can still ask Siri to call a person because they will be in my native contact list. But let's look at another connection where Piesync helps Salesforce interact with 50 different marketing apps. And we actually, I'm going to demo ActiveCampaign here, but it doesn't really matter which app I'm going to use. The beauty of Piesync is you can start using any other best of breed marketing platform, but retain the same synchronization logic as I've set it up here. A huge pain in setting up separate CRM and marketing apps is keeping contacts on the right mailing lists, segmented properly, respecting proper opt-in and opt-out preferences, GDPR, right? This is what I can accomplish here with a handful of rules. It's always going to be a combination of Salesforce properties that make contact eligible to go on one list or the other. But the awesome thing here is the two-way sync. The rules that start off with Salesforce come with undo toggles that can be read in the other way around. People subscribing themselves in ActiveCampaign or unsubscribing, Piesync makes ActiveCampaign talk back to Salesforce. So it changes those CRM attributes again. Piesync takes care of also all of the contact mapping. So we have this all figured out. You can exchange custom fields as well. So that CRM properties directly become actionable attributes inside your marketing campaign, and vice versa. Form entries can sync directly into Salesforce. Piesync becomes one hub to manage all the data syncs. Here, Xero, my accountant, is really happy that whenever I close an opportunity, the person that I labeled as a billing contact is dropped straight into the invoicing app Xero, ready to be invoiced. You can find us in the AppExchange under Piesync, and pricing starts at $9 a month.
Right up to the wire there. I didn't have to elephant you.
Yeah,
Right.
that was awesome. Great job. Definitely some practice in there. So good work. You know, Piesync is definitely unique in its integration points that it has. I like the fact that you release a new integration every Wednesday, which is super cool. But some of the ways that I found your app pretty interesting is just the fact that it is a two-way sync, so it's bi-directional. You know, a lot of accountants will choose to update the information inside of Xero, and sometimes that information doesn't get back to the CRM, which is, you know, for all intents and purposes, the account executive system of record, so that you have exactly one source of truth for the information about that customer. The other thing that I really do like about this app is just the complexity of the rules that you're able to do. They're very easy, they're very intuitive. They make a lot of sense because, you know, not all the time, you know, it would basically be a prank to put your mother-in-law in the CRM database. Maybe she get a whole bunch of calls. So those rules and that flexibility that you can define is definitely a plus for your app. So thanks so much for sharing. Really appreciate it, and great job. Amanda, what questions do we have out there for Piesync?
Yeah, the questions are pouring in. This is great, everybody. Please keep it up. All right, the question is, how quick is the sync?
Well, it's a real-time sync. Actually, I can show here in the activity log, which I didn't even get to show. This is a sync that's running all the time, and as soon as you add something in Salesforce, a maximum of 3 to 4 minutes, we will sync it across. It could happen real-time as well, depending on the other app that we use. So it's all the time syncing two-way. So if something happens on the other side, well, we'll also check the latest state over on the other side. So it's a constant back and forth of syncing here.
That's pretty awesome. Cool. Thank you so much. Jeff, you get the honor to introduce our next Demo Jam participant.
Well, my only thing I'm going to drop in here is, Franz, you know, next Wednesday, I'm expecting Lemon Meringue to be integrated with Salesforce, because I want, when I accomplish what my boss wants me to do, I want a piece of pie. So if we can get Piesync to do that, that's for next week. Awesome job.
I'll talk to our CDO.
Please do.
Oh, I like key lime pie. Can we all make our pie requests? Guys, put your pie requests in the chat.
Exactly. App Demo Jam hashtag is where you put your pie requests.
Or just look out for the cookbook next year. What happened to churros, Jeff? Churros? Not a thing anymore?
Well, you can't do a churro pie, I don't think. I mean, that would be kind of sacrilegious. But, you know, we'll see if we can make an integration someday later. Well,
Got it.
without further ado, I got to jump in and talk about Sales Optmizer. Sales Process Optmizer enables the execution of various sales playbooks like Moneyball and Symbometrics and Cybermetrics. Baseball, basically these guys gamify the entire execution of the sales process and capture empirical data to see how the game's being played, hits, runs, and ultimately all this becomes the foundation of a smarter selling system that allows you for better execution and coaching to get the optimizer deal velocity and win rates that you're looking for. This whole thing is easy to use, configurable. It's got unlimited scenarios and captures all the data that you need to see how the game is being played and the correlation to those outcomes, which are, hey, wins and losses. I'm actually really curious to see how this all works. And to show us today, we got Ron Ricketts, the executive sales consultant from Sales Optmizer. Ron, are you ready to show it to us? Ron?
Yeah, you told me to be on mute, so I was on mute.
There we go. No. I know you're obeying all except for that one part.
Exactly.
Well, Ron,
I clicked the screen but forgot to mute. Oh well, but now I'm on.
Here we
Thank you
go.
so much for the intro.
Your
okay.
3 minutes begins now, sir.
Hey, thank you very much. And by the way, yeah, Sales Optmizer, our real stick is helping companies kind of drill down and look in their sales and help them define the sales path and what outcomes and objectives they need to move the needle. We've got about 3 or 4 different apps, but if you go out on the AppExchange and would type in sales process, would probably be the first thing that would pop up. What I'm going to talk today about is one of our 4 apps. It's called Sales Process Optmizer, which, by the way, after the demo, if you want a little bit more, just go here. They've got the slideware here. We've got our installation guide and everything right on the AppExchange. But let me just show you how we use it at Sales Optmizer, because we sort of, we drink our own Kool-Aid, so to speak. So I've got an account here, Rexnord, great. Got a couple of opportunities I was working. We went in and did a lightning assessment back here in September, and we've got this lightning transformation that's in progress right now. Now, what's our product all about? So everybody knows about, obviously, sales stages: qualifying, discovery, validating, proposing, etc. But if you look at our product, what we've got in the bolt-on, all native to Salesforce and can be configured with no code, down here are the outcomes and the suggested activities to get yourself moving down the pipeline. These change as you move through each stage. You can see I'm in validating now. The outcomes have changed, the activities have changed, and so forth, all the way down to closing a deal. But let me go back to qualifying. You got to say, hey, why is that green and the rest are grayed out or yellow? Well, green, I've done everything. I'm a sales rep. I went in, and my sales operations, my sales leader, they've decided that, we know that if we get these outcomes here, and there's about 7 or 8 of them, if we get these outcomes and if we take these suggested activities, we know we will have a highly qualified deal that's going to get us that win at the end of the day. And basically what Optmizer does, and companies can do on their own, you don't have to have us to do it, is you can look at each one of your phases of your sales cycle and figure out what are those key outcomes. Just as they identified in Moneyball, what was the real thing that was driving the win rate? Sometimes it might surprise you. The beauty about capturing this data in a very easy visual way is that over time you can start to do analytics, put it into Einstein, really look at, okay, what are the things that are really moving the needle for our company? This is a very intuitive graphical interface. For the individual sales operations that need to manage it, all you got to do is go in the back end of your app launcher, go into sales processes, and you get a nice table that you can change these or edit, whatever. You don't need Sales Optmizer to do this. All you need is our software. I'm done. Whew, no elephant.
Whoa, no kidding. You had 12 seconds to go there. Now, this is interesting because, all of those keys in there, you put people through training, you work on all the enablement. And yet, if it doesn't come down to seeing it in the everyday app you're using, looking at that opportunity, it doesn't always get done in the same way. So therefore, you guys are measuring this. You're seeing what things are accomplished, and as it moves along, everything is changing dynamically. So regardless of whether you're selling into a different industry or whether you've got a different opportunity type, I mean, it's all being customized as you go through it. And I'm a huge fan of coloration, just telling you where you're at on all this. So it's easy to look at all of this and see exactly where you're at, what you need to be doing. And I'm sure it's got to be, pretty amazing to go through that with your sales director as well, to just be able to see where things are at and get coaching. So I like it.
So the key here is, see how sales process right here. This is a Salesforce generated deal for us. A lot of our work comes from Salesforce, but we have other kinds of deals. So each one of these has a different playbook. So the stages, what you basically make different record type in each one of these, new work orders, renewals, direct competitive, they can have different outcomes and different activities. It's very, like I say, very easy to configure. And that's the other thing. That's partly the value add, is we've built the back end kind of WYSIWYG configuration piece. Okay.
Absolutely. Well,
Thanks,
let's see what the audience has out there for you today. Amanda, what have we got for Ron for a question from our audience?
Yeah, this is a great demo. In between all of the pie flavors that are popping up, we do have a good question. The question is related to the configurability that you mentioned. When you want to configure, let's say, what you're showing here in terms of the colors or the way it's set up, is that something that the customer would work with you on directly, or is it something they can do themselves in the back end of the console or the experience?
Yeah, they do it completely themselves. We typically work with a customer the first time we roll it out. But again, what I showed here is, in your app launcher, there's a thing called sales process. And when you open that guy up, it would show you a list of all the sales processes you've defined. And just think of it just like another kind of back-end setup in Salesforce. And then you just go in and type in what you want in the different areas. You can change the colors on them. There's a color wheel. You can change the percentage of, you'll notice that these have sort of a percentage of, impact to the particular item. If you do that, it ups the percentage of chances of you. I mean, you can take this down to a low level, but it's totally configurable by the client. Our goal is we don't want to have them dependent on us. We want them to be able to just run with it. Okay.
All right, awesome job. Thanks for that, Ron. Appreciate you being a part of the demo jam. It's time to hand it off to Mr. Joshua for our next one.
Thanks, Jeff, so much. The next one is TimeTrade. So how many hours each week do your salespeople try to coordinate the right resources for the right meetings? We know at TimeTrade that it can take as many as 7 to 8 exchanges to finally get meetings on the calendar, and the salespeople already spend too much time on administrative tasks. With TimeTrade's app scheduler for Salesforce, we can easily show you how sales representatives, BDRs, marketers, customer success teams, and anyone else in your org can quickly get meetings on the calendar and start closing deals faster. Joined with us today, we have Steven from TimeTrade. Steven, are you out there?
I am here.
Awesome. So Steven is the Director of Product Management at TimeTrade. And today you're going to show us just exactly how I can get some more time in my day for my BDRs to basically focus on closing deals. Your 3 minutes starts now.
Great, thank you. Hey, if you guys are in sales, you know that meetings are the lifeblood of your pipeline. But we also know, as was mentioned a few seconds ago, Salesforce report shows that salespeople spend way too much time doing administrative work, including scheduling tasks, and not enough time is spent on actually selling tasks to go ahead and close deals. Well, wouldn't it be great, if there was a way that you could identify who needs to be in a meeting, identify when those people are available, generate a web conferencing link in real time that's unique for that particular meeting, all quickly and easily. Well, my mom says that, yeah, that would be great, but unfortunately, this guy from Salesforce said that she couldn't vote in this demo jam. So, everyone else out there, I'm sure you're saying the same thing, that would be great if you could kind of do that. So let's walk through a quick use case here from Salesforce, where if I'm a salesperson, I've got a contact and I've reached that stage in my opportunity where I probably need to bring in a solutions engineer. And you may have a similar function within your sales team. You reach these point in these deals where you need to bring in people, or perhaps, it's the initial call and you're just having a one-on-one screening meeting, or maybe you're finally getting to the deal done and you need some security expert on the call to walk you through your complicated solution. What we've developed basically is a quick way for people to go ahead and send invitations to get meetings on the calendar. We simply click on quick invitation, and we can see that there's some favorites that me as a salesperson, I've identified that these are the things that happen pretty regularly with me in my day. So I'm going to go ahead and send a sales meeting with architect off to my contact, Michael Stevens. And you can kind of see there within 2 clicks, I've already completed my task here. So there's not much more to show from the user's experience here. So let me show you what the actual recipient of this invitation receives. I'm going to switch over to Google Calendar here, and you'll be able to see that, hey, I'm Michael Stevens. Stephen Connolly has sent me a meeting to go ahead, a request to go ahead and schedule a meeting. We're just going to go ahead and click the schedule button and identify that Steve's in this meeting. My solution architects are in this meeting. And what happens here is that the connected calendars behind the scenes show me only times available for the people that are going to be in this meeting. So there's no back and forth in trying to understand what time will work with all parties involved. In this case, I'm going to try to see if I can get a meeting on Halloween, book it at 3 o'clock, go ahead and agree to that meeting. And you can see once you do that, I pull an individual person out of that pool, and that person is assigned to that meeting. Behind the scenes, all things are being updated in real time, including getting a unique meeting link, which in this particular case, I'm using Zoom. And the great part about it is behind the scenes, individual calendars are updated, including the calendars of Angelique Toftero, my colleague, myself, and of course, Michael Stevens receives an update as well. So wasn't that easy? I'll give you your 2 seconds back.
Oh yeah, you were right up there.
Well, thank you. Wow. With the 2 seconds left, I'll just say, hey, great job. Time is something very, very important for, not just sales reps, but anyone who is, I will say, wheeling and dealing on the phone or in their role. And I think these calendar apps across the whole entire ecosystem on Salesforce and not have been a great benefit to our busy schedules. It's so easy these days. But what's interesting about the app and the fact that you built this on the platform is that there's no actually reason to actually leave Salesforce. It's an integrated tool that connects to company calendars for people who need to be involved in the meeting. And it also is a great way to keep everything in one place. So very great job demoing. You definitely came in under time, but just the fact that the way that you've set this up in the interface is very intuitive and very easy. So, gone are the days of having to actually switch to Google Calendar, add people manually. You actually have some facial recognition here. And I like the fact as well that the customer understands the titles and people's roles when they are actually going to a meeting. I think that's super important so that they can understand exactly what this meeting is about. So I definitely could figure out a lot of use cases for some people that I've worked with to use this app. So great job. Amanda, what questions do we have out there for TimeTrade?
Great. Yes. Awesome job. We have a couple of different questions, so I'm going to try to combine it. The questions, I think, at the end of the day are coming down to the minutia of calendaring. So questions around how you factor in different time zone, vacation, weekends, things like that. How do you take that into consideration?
Great. Yeah, thanks for asking. And what we try to do is use Salesforce as much as we can. So there's no separate administration feature for Salesforce users. We try to configure those people on the fly as they're added to invitations based upon the time zone that they're configured within the user. We connect real time to calendars, so personal calendars, including Office 365, Exchange, and Google Calendar. So as long as availability is represented in personal calendars, people will not show up for meetings if they're booked out of the office for vacation, sick days, or even just meetings if they have conflicts. On the attendee side, the external person, we automatically identify the time zone via the browser settings. So then person launches that meeting invitation, it'll be set to whatever time zone they're in. So it often gets complicated, especially around the time of year that we're dealing with in a couple of weeks, right? Where we have fall back and daylight savings ends. So we take all that consideration. We've been doing scheduling for over 16 years, and so we try to make sure that all those nuances are taken care of.
Awesome. Amazing. Thank you so much for attending and demoing this demo jam. But we've got one more left. For those of you on the phone, please hang out. Be very attentive because it's going to be your chance to vote for the person who will take home the demo jam trophy. Jeff, who's next?
Exactly. You got it, man. I want everybody to stick around because you got to see Webkul. Webkul is all about eShop sync to shop for Shopify. That's the product, and it provides a direct and seamless integration with Shopify data to Salesforce, and there's no middleware involved to make this happen. You know, one of these huge advantages that they have is due to the way that their app works, over all the applications available in the AppExchange is in the similar category, they're keeping the data. They're not keeping the data on another server, so the data security and integrity remains intact as is on both sides. It ensures your orders and product synchronization, lets you manage inventory effortlessly, and provide bulk data from Shopify store to Salesforce. And you know what? I'm not sure how they're going to do this in 3 minutes, but you know, some of the highlights of what this app does, you got real-time sync of relevant data between Shopify and Salesforce, like collections, products, customers, orders. You got customer synchronization, like accounts and contacts to Salesforce. You can sync your products, like simple and variable types. You got multi-stores you can support. You got matching.
I want to see it already, Jeff.
I know. Okay. Well, there you go. Matching criteria and field mapping. Without further ado, I've got Ajit Kumar here today. Ajit, are you ready to show the whole enchilada?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
All right. Let's see Webkul. Your 3 minutes begins now.
Good luck.
Yeah, so this application integrates the data from multiple Shopify stores to a single Salesforce instance. So if we take a look at this configuration, so this application basically gets installed at two ends, one at the Shopify and the other one at the Salesforce. So this is the app section of Shopify, and this is what you get in Salesforce. All you need to do is copy the access token here to fetch the data from Shopify, and we have used Salesforce site feature to enable the real-time sync functionality. So we have real-time sync for collection, customer orders, and products. So the real-time sync happens almost instantly. So you don't have to wait for the products to be created here. So we have object level mapping, we have field level mapping, and field level mapping actually allows you to create additional mapping for the accounts, orders, contacts, and this is the custom field mapping. So this actually can be used when you want to bring the data from other custom application installed in your Shopify store to Salesforce. So Shopify basically is a SaaS-based platform that actually provides you the entire e-commerce functionality. So you can bring the data also on the basis of record type. And this is the most important feature in which we have provided in our application, that is matching criteria. Suppose you have a customer existing in Shopify and that customer is also existing in Salesforce with the same email address. So if you have set the matching criteria on the basis of email address, so you can sync them on the basis of email address, and they will not create duplicate ones. So it is just to ensure the duplicate management. And the best part is that we are not keeping the data, as you mentioned, in our own server. We are just providing a direct integration between the two. So if we talk about this collections, so once we have, apart from the real-time sync, we have also provided a button over here. You can sync all the records in one go, and we have also provided an individual sync button here. So once you click on it, it will sync the record instantly. And once you take a look at the product record, so it will sync the variable products as well. You can see in the related list, this contains the variants. So even if you have multiple types of a product in Shopify, all the information will be synced to Salesforce right at the real time. You don't have to wait for that. And if you take a look at this order, so it will have the billing address, shipping address, every information will be there from the Shopify. So the line items will be populated in the related list. You can take a look at this. So this is the line item. This will be the exact tracking status of your products which you have in Shopify. And the best part is that you don't have to wait for the number of records which are being created, around 3 to 4 lakh customers can be synced in per day basis. That depends on the API limit that you have in Salesforce. So you can achieve a lot of bulk synchronization from Shopify to Salesforce apart from the real-time sync. So apart from this, we have a multi-store functionality. You can configure the multiple shops as well. So that's all about it.
Well, yeah, you were really close there. Now, you know what? The more I look at this, even though I'm personally not that familiar with the Shopify store, I can totally see why this is actually really useful, because all of this data being synchronized back and forth, making sure that you don't have duplicates on either side. I mean, this is really slick stuff. So having a dedicated tool that can really help anybody who's got an electronic storefront like this is humongous. So being able to synchronize that with Salesforce, being able to manage the right data in the right place. And, you know, even when you talked about the variants, at first I wasn't sure thinking about that, but, you know, hey, think of all of your different colors of an iPhone case or whatever, all of those things that can be managed out there within your Shopify storefront. All of it's coming back to Salesforce seamlessly. So that is slick stuff. So much appreciated. Thank you for giving that demo. Miss Amanda. Yeah, you bet. What have we got for a question from our audience today?
Yes, we have a lot of questions coming in. You guys are all awesome today. All right. So another question about the syncing, but specific to Shopify this time. How long does it take, and what does that process look like?
I think you asked about how long does it take. So as I mentioned, it takes the data sync almost instantaneously. So you don't have to wait for it. The moment you add a product here, suppose you're adding a product here in Shopify, the moment you hit submit, the data gets created in Salesforce. So the real time, you don't have to wait for it. And for manual syncing, suppose you are syncing a product manually. So it all depends on how many records you have. So it will depend on the number of records you have in Salesforce, and also on the API limit that will allow you to sync the products or collections.
You know, and like I said earlier too, the use of color in here is so effective because you know exactly what you need to do with each of these things. Seeing a synchronized button, it's green, all that kind of stuff. It all just makes sense. So it's very intuitive. So thank you so much for your demo today. You know what it's time for? It's time for voting to open. So hope you guys are all still out there waiting on the webinar, because this is your chance to make a vote. So let's see who you think wins the demo jam. Now, Joshua, as we do this, what are we going to talk about, Joshua?
Well, it only seems natural to talk about Dreamforce. How was your Dreamforce, Jeff?
It was a good time, man. I mean, this was number 14 for me, so it's been a few Dreamforces, but man, just as big as, well, just bigger than ever, I suppose. But I had a good time, got a chance to meet tons of new people, was able to spend a lot of time out on the expo floor. I mean, what was your highlight, Joshua? What did you take away from it?
I mean, there's so many. Like, one is we got to meet Appy. So for those of you who can see Appy, she's actually real. She was able to visit us in the Mega Demo Jam. But I would just say, like, Dreamforce as a whole, like, the campus is so big. Where it's hard to get everything. Like, this is the first year, I've lost count how many Dreamforces I've been to. First year where I wasn't actually able to go to the expo. And I think that when people go to Dreamforce, it's a little bit about self-care and how much effort you put into, you know, going to all these sessions. So I know I spent a lot of time off campus as well as on campus, you know, just focusing on some things that I was doing while I was there at Dreamforce. But I had a fabulous time. Like, you know, there's no other thing like the Ohana. On Wednesday, we did a 5K run, which was pretty amazing. That's always great. And just the whole fact that, you know, I was privileged to be in 3 sessions this year. And it's funny that none of those sessions were actually technical, right? One of them was based upon career and career progression, and really targeted to students and helping the Ohana kind of demystify the steps that they need to take their Salesforce career and the ecosystem to the next level. And the other one that I did was mainly based on the equality. It's like how to be a better ally, and it was a hoot. We had such a great and intimate time speaking with everyone who attended. It was amazing. Like in the middle of the session, we weren't really looking at the stage. We were all turned inward to each other, just really having a conversation about situations that people experience and how to be better allies. So I just feel like this conference gets better and better and better, whether you're there for a technical level or whether you're there to really understand how to work better with humans in the workplace.
Man, that's awesome. Great to hear. You know what I'm thinking is next year's thing. I mean, some people will try the scooters, some try the, doing bikes around there. I'm thinking like personal drone, if I can figure out some way to do a personal hovercraft sort of thing to get me from point A to point B, that's probably my best bet. That way I don't have to worry about street crossings and things like that. But man, it was a lot of fun, and just getting together with people whom you tend to get together with online a bit through Twitter or the Trailblazer community, but to be able to see them face to face, have conversations like you say, and then be able to cover other topics that just don't come up outside of face to face, that is fantastic. And it is kind of as it is Ohana, it is the family reunion, as it were. There you go. It's almost like these guys. Of course, they all work for the same company, but it is a lot of fun. And the Mega Demo Jam this year, it truly was my highlight to meet Appy, have her show up there, and we got a nice picture of Joshua and myself and Appy together. So that was a lot of fun for me. Amanda, do you quick have a highlight from Dreamforce, because you've been doing this a long time and you've been a part of the demo jams there, just like we have, but obviously you're coordinating the whole thing.
We have to add that slide to the deck.
Yes.
Like that is definitely an action item. What about you, Amanda?
Yeah, what's the picture of you guys with Appy, that picture?
Yes, we got to add that in.
Yeah. Any takeaways from you this year, though?
We did 11 demo jams this year, which is more than any other year in the past. We had over 50 partners participate and over 7,000 votes. So it was really successful. All of the demo jams had high scores and just a lot of activity. So I was really excited to see it all come together. And I hope everyone who was at Dreamforce, or you can watch on Salesforce Live, got to see the fun and the action.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely
amazing.
Fun stuff. Well, is it time to reveal our winner of the October 2018 Demo Jam? Well, then you know what? It is time. Let's see. I don't have my sound effects for the. I'm sorry, I don't have a drum roll. But we have got sales. Yeah, I know. Sales Optmizer. You guys are the winners today. Thank you so much, everybody, for participating. Have we got a second? We can just hear from Sales Optmizer and kind of get your acceptance speech. How about that?
Yeah, I'm sure Ron would love to say something when he unmutes himself.
Yeah, well, first off, thank you very much. And I was a stand-in for our CEO, who would typically do a much better job. So I'm thrilled beyond belief. Wait till I tell him. But no, I'll tell you, you made a few points about, the colors that make it easy for people. I've been around sales. I don't want to tell you how many years. I did 27 years for one of the largest IT companies in sales operations. And I get the mindset of a typical salesperson. It's got to be easy. Like I always say to everybody, 3 clicks or less, and make it colorful or make it big, because otherwise, forget it. They want to go to something else. And that's what we're really trying to do with our interface. Just make it easy so that no matter what the playbook that you've got, you can keep your team kind of focused, because it's all about focus. You want to close deals? Focus. You want to not close deals? Do it part-time. Don't pay attention. And so we see our clients have a lot of success in this space. As I think I mentioned, most of our work actually comes through Salesforce AEs who, maybe a client, they're not adopting the Salesforce product or any product, because it's not the product, guys. It's do you have well-defined processes that it's easy to follow, and you make it kind of fun. And one of the things I didn't get to show today, because it's such a short period of time, is the reporting that you can do once you have this, and then you can identify KPIs around what outcomes you really need to focus on, and you can do a tremendous amount of analytics and do gamification on the back end of this. So that's our story. Sales Optmizer. We're on the exchange, and we love Salesforce. By the way, we only deal with Salesforce customers, because anybody else using a CRM that's not Salesforce probably doesn't get it.
That's a pretty good point. So well-deserved win for you. Good job on the demo. You guys have got a trophy coming out. Miss Amanda, let's hear what you got to close us out today.
Well, thank you all for joining today. And because you're registered once, you can come to any demo jam you'd like on our webinar. We run every third. And please come to all of them, because I'm sure you want to hear from Jeff and Joshua. And I still feel like I need pie. So we should probably meet next month to talk about how the pie went. But our next demo jam coming up is November 15. Again, every third Thursday. And we'll be discussing customer service apps. In December, right before the holidays, we will be talking about apps for 2019. So it's a great way to inspire your team and get them excited for the new year. And then in January, we're coming in hot with commerce and marketing apps. So a lot of fun to be had. There's lots of world tours and Dreamin' events all around the world, having demo jams as well. So if you are in New York or Sydney, there's all these demo jams happening. Florida. It's going to be a lot of fun. And we hope you had fun today. I know I did.
Yeah, absolutely. We all did. So thanks everybody for joining us. We look forward to seeing you next month or wherever it is out there in the rest of Salesforce land. Take care and see you later, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.